Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen,
Hi, I'm Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man.
and you are watching AFK, the AFK show, our favorite show on the planet.
One of.
One of. So you're watching the right show. Keep watching, and keep watching.
And keep watching. And keep watching. Don't stop.
Moderator? Or is it just as we're just on our own?
I want to know what happened to the person who was in it. How did they get away? It's an electric chair. Where did they go? How's everybody doing today? Awesome. We've never moderated our own our own Q&A, so why don't we just...
said he was going to be doing it.
Who?
Landon. Is Landon here? He went that way? He just left. He's like, bye guys, you're on your own.
He's in the bathroom going, I hear voices. Why do I hear voices in the room? People are talking, and I'm not there. Yeah, so I guess, well, this is Emmanuelle.
Hi, I play the Morrigan.
She plays the Morrigan. My chair's kind of broken.
This is Rick. He
Woo-hoo!
plays Trick.
I play Trick, and I'm sitting on a very tricky seat. So if I adjust a lot, it's only because I'm trying not to fall through the chair. Yeah, so here we are. Houston, woo! Sunday morning, woo!
All right, well, I guess, does anybody have any questions since no one else is, there's no one here to sort of lead our way down the path of the panel, panel hour?
Does anybody have anything they want to ask? There's got to be something.
Yes, enjoyed your recent TV album you had.
Oh, excellent. Years of heartache. No, music for me has always been kind of that thing that you can do that you don't need like an entire production company or something to have a creative outlet. So, you know, you can sit in your room and pick up your guitar and just kind of play whatever's kind of going on in your head or in your heart. And when I first started writing music a long time ago, it was usually out of, you know, incidences that happened to me or to a friend or something like that. And then later on, it kind of became more about how do you craft a story? How do you tell a story, you know, in 3 verses and a repeating chorus, maybe a bridge. And I joined a songwriting kind of thing where they would give you a theme for that week, and you'd have to write a song based on that. So the third song on the album, called Voodoo, a friend of mine who is writing this, who is holding these songwriter events, the theme was magic. So I wrote a song called Voodoo, and it was quite a while ago. But then when I finally I met a producer in South Africa where I recorded it. It kind of all fell into place at that point for the music and what he did with it, and brought musicians. Like the musicians that play on that album there's the piano and backup singer for 2 of the tracks is from England. There's a guy from LA who plays guitar on a lot of them. A couple of bass players from South Africa. You know, so it's all, they're from everywhere. It was, and you know, it's modern technology brings, you know, it's like Skype call to somebody. It's like, hey, lay down this bass track for me, would you? And it's like, yeah, no problem. How's that? Perfect, great, we're moving on. And it's like, you know, you're sitting in the booth kind of behind him going, this is so cool. People are just bringing it all in from everywhere. So I hope that answers your question. I tend to meander. So.
What people don't know is I was also a backup singer because I sing so well.
Yeah.
I was like the secret vocals behind the scenes. You don't even know that.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know you knew Graham.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, exactly. I've got this great friend. She's in LA. She's her name's Emmanuelle. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean, Emmanuelle? Not could. No way. No.
I'd be like, hey, guys, I already recorded it on my phone for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. No. Somebody else had another question. Yes.
Big Lost Girl fan, and so I was curious about your reflections on your characters and how much they've changed since season 1, and especially Morgan's character and the evolution and everything that she's kind of gone through.
Well, I think my answer is probably much shorter than yours because
Because I'm long-winded.
You're long-winded, and no, well, you had a lot more stuff in the series than I did, but I think the evolution of my character was I really enjoyed the last couple of seasons of what they did, other than the lack of powers that was annoying, but the last couple of seasons it was great because you finally got to see a more vulnerable side of the Morgan and get to know her as a human being and not so much of this sort of person that comes in and says some sassy things and then leaves and melts people. Yeah, wears fabulous clothes and great shoes and all that stuff. Loved all of that. But no, it was nice to be able to explore a more vulnerable side of my character as well as to find out why she became the way she is now. Not just sort of you're evil and that's just the way you are. There's always a reason why someone has become or behaves a certain way. So it was nice to know what that was and then also get to explore it.
Yeah, she got more cocky too toward Trick. Like in the first.
Oh yeah, we had some fun stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Kept going with that.
Because like the very first episode we shot, episode 8 of season 1, and you and I and Clay had that scene in the alleyway when Bo's fighting up in the thing, and it was like, it's our first. I think that might have been my actual first scene, or anyway, it was the first week anyway.
Was that
so
episode
it was like,
8?
Yeah, episode 8 of season 1, 108.
I think I was only in episode 1 and like 12 or something in the first season.
Weren't you in the very, very first one?
I was in the very, very first one, but I thought that's
Yeah.
where we had our walk and talk. You said 8.
Well, I thought it was 8. Okay, whatever. It was 6 years ago. And there's been a lot of episodes since then. Anyway, that scene of like, all three of us kind of jockeying for our power seat, where it's like, she's the evil dark, and then, you've got the light Ash played by Clay Bennett, and then I walk in and I'm like, you two just stop it right there. Nobody's killing her no-how until I say you can kill her. And it's like, that kind of cemented it too for me, in that, because when I auditioned for the thing, there was a scene with the Morrigan character in my audition, and it was clearly a one-upmanship within the scene of like, I'm more powerful. No, I'm more powerful. No, I am more powerful, and you shut up. But for Trick, it was a lot of fun to play because he had to keep it all kind of so close to his chest, and so there was that kind of like, no, I make the decisions here, and then as the show progressed, it was like, wait a minute, I no longer make the decisions here, Bo does, and I just have to kind of take what she does and do the best I can to help her out and keep her safe, and tell Dyson and I have to kind of go, okay, well, how do we keep this from getting out of hand, or, we can't let her die or whatever. So, and he got to kind of put down those cards out a little bit more, and then, and say, I'm your grandfather, and then the character could take on more of that fatherly role, which was a lot of fun to play as well, because I'm not a father, and but it was certainly a lot of fun to be able to play that kind of caring toward Beau and Kenzie, and to be the protector and to try to kind of go, okay, 2 steps ahead of everybody else. I got to stay 2 steps ahead of everybody else, so our little human doesn't get slayed by something evil. But yeah, so I think that's kind of like the journey of it, and again, I enjoyed playing him that way. The mysteriousness of him was a great way to kind of have all that stuff going on inside you, and then you just trickle it out as it's needed. Trickle it out. You see what I did there? Even for Sunday morning, hey? Damn.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
2 short questions. First, please tell me we're going to see Kenzie again. And second, Emmanuelle, you get to do a lot of scenes with Paul Amos. He is delicious as Vex.
He is delicious in every way.
He's a little more briny than Vex, but I don't know what that means.
Or I mean, like he doesn't bathe?
No, briny, like a little more bitter than delicious. Like if Vex was chocolate cake, Paul's, lemon meringue pie. Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, he's more...
Yeah.
No, he's fantastic. We had so much fun. They separated us in like the later seasons, and we're like, why don't we get to work together? Is it because that we're obnoxious together?
Yeah.
I always wonder that. I'm like, did we just cause too much trouble together on set? So they just were like, okay, those 2, do not let them be anywhere near each other. But I can't believe that because we're all kind of like that on set. So
Yeah.
they can't. That happens no matter what.
Yeah, there was quite a camaraderie amongst all of us.
There was. What was the other question? Oh, Kenzie.
Yeah, I guess you guys have seen Sci-Fi's aired the first 4 or 5 episodes. First
we're
6 already. Oh wow. Yeah. So you do see Kenzie in those first couple episodes. Other than that, we are not at liberty to say any more than that.
My favorite thing was that it was like this big secret, and then they released still photographs of her in the episodes, and it's like, well, when they spent like an entire 9 months telling us like, do not say anything about Kenzie coming back, and then we're like, you guys, dumb.
You just tweeted it.
Duh.
Untweet, damn it. It's already been favorited. Yeah, I guess that answers your question.
Gentleman over here. Oh,
you got to sit on PVR. Good. Well, you'll... Uh-oh.
They went by the original showtimes in Canada, so our PVR didn't pick up the first episode.
Oh.
But not repeat. So it's like...
What?
I follow y'all through Netflix because I don't have cable or TV right now, so I don't watch y'all on Netflix. They go down the library and watch it.
Yeah. The majority of people seem to watch it on Netflix, or at least they catch up.
I barely have cable. I mean, I have the minimal, if something
basic
horrible
cable.
happens, I can tune into the news or something. But I literally everything I watch is now on Netflix or download it from iTunes.
Yeah. I regret not buying stock in Netflix when it first went to an IPO. Yeah.
So I was going to go back to how we were talking about where you got to build on growing the characters. How far out do they let you know your scripts and stuff like that? Because, you have to build this character, protect Beau, but are they letting you know through the end of the season? Are they letting you know when they reach out?
It changed kind of as we went, but as at the end of at the end of season 1, I'm reading the script where it's like Trick is bleeding out and he's and I'm like, so I turned to the producer, I'm like, what is this? And he's like, don't worry, you don't die, maybe. He's like, ah! So I was with you on that cliffhanger for it's like, oh, please come back, Trick. But they did kind of tell us some stuff in advance, things, and as an actor, you'd kind of go to them and say, okay, wait, so this storyline arc thing, I feel at this point, for this scene that we're about to shoot, I need to know what's going to happen, at script K, when we're at script B, and kind of say, I just need to know this little bit so that I can either play into that or not. And they were pretty good at if they knew where it was, where that was going to be, then they would tell you. But there are often times too where you don't necessarily need to know, because you're just playing the moments. You're playing the actual moments of the scene, and so as long as you've got that, and you got a director who's kind of going, I think it's this, and I think it's that, and I think it's this, and it's like, cool, all right, let's play it like that then.
And I think even in life, like if something like sometimes you behave a certain way and you have no intention of things changing and developing in a way that they end up developing, and all of a sudden you change your mind and you're like, oh, well, not going to be like that anymore towards this person. I don't like that person, or I don't, you change your pattern of behavior, and so you don't always know ahead of time that in life either. So it's the same,
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong, but it does help sometimes for us to know, which they did not always. They wouldn't tell me anything. Because I was there, for a few episodes here and there, so I'd come back and forth. So it was harder for me to actually sit them down and be like, okay, so what are we doing with the Morrigan?
Yeah.
Sort of the Zoe Palmer episode where I lose my powers. I was like, wow, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was going to happen, so it was fun. Yes.
How come it's filmed in Canada? What's the reason for that? Because I've noticed a lot of sci-fi shows now in Canada. What's the reason for that?
The dollar, the
Well, it's a
American to
Canadian
Canadian
show.
dollar. It was a, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It was a show that was originally produced by, it's a Canadian show made for Showcase, which is a network in Canada, and then Sci-Fi bought it to air it as a mid-season on their network and be like a filler. No, but I mean, you're right though, a ton of stuff, a lot of Sci-Fi stuff shoots in Toronto, it seems.
And Vancouver, yeah.
Vancouver too. Toronto.
It was shot in Toronto, yeah. Oh, that's so nice to hear.
The Strain is in Toronto.
Yeah.
Shadowhunters is going to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
Continuum's Vancouver. Yep.
Yeah, Continuum and Sanctuary was shot in Vancouver as well. Primarily,
There's a
almost
ton of
entirely on green screen.
And Arrow and Smallville and
Arrow and
all of
Smallville are all in Vancouver.
Flash, Vancouver, Supernatural, Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah. They have great studios out there, so.
And I haven't noticed why I like the Canadian shows is because in American shows they go so fast-paced and they're moving around, looking in a zillion directions, and you don't know what the hell's going on. With Canadian, you can actually watch it and it's not going to make you nauseated.
Right. It's the NYPD blue of space. The camera's always moving. It's like, whoa. Why do I feel like I'm on a boat in a storm?
It's like our cops nope, we're not going to go and chase him quite yet. We're just going to stay here and watch him for a little while.
Make sure he's actually doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm,
and then say, excuse me, could you please stop doing that wrong?
I'm sorry.
We're sorry. Yeah, we don't mean to impinge on your criminality.
That's right. We don't want to bother
but
you.
We'd really
and interrupt your,
appreciate it if you could stop being evil. No? Okay, we're going to have to take you in.
Oh, you don't want that either. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's
well,
okay.
We'll come back tomorrow.
Sorry.
We'll check with you again. Yeah.
Let me just walk away.
You both have projects lined up when Lost Girl ends.
Well, Last Girl is over.
Yeah, Lost Girl's been
now.
over for a little while now.
Yeah.
I mean, for the shooting part of it. You've got a thing that you've got coming out.
Yeah, I've been working on Mistresses for the last season, so I'll be on season 3 of Mistresses that starts airing, I think, June 18th on ABC. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and nothing that I can talk about as of right now, but there's, try to keep as many pots on the burners as you can.
Been working on your music a lot, though.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of the music, and I've been trying to kind of promote it. There was a music competition, and I got, and I don't know if any of you voted on Twitter or not, but if you did, thank you very much. I got to the semi-regional finals, so from 3,000 bands, I got down to the top 100 or something like that. So that was pretty good.
Awesome, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And then I didn't make it to the next round after that. But it was great. It was really great. There was a question over here. I saw an arm. No? Oh, yes.
I know sometimes, especially in shows from Sci-Fi, that the actual actors can add in attributes to the character. Is there anything that you contributed directly to the show? And also, is there anything you wanted to contribute that they wouldn't have let you? For both of you, by the way.
For me, I don't know if it was it was more of a contribution on Jay Firestone's part, that he finally, I just hit him over the head with it so many times that he was like, all right, fine. And I was like, can we have horses? We do something with horses. And I would not shut up about it. And finally, in the first episode, I get the script and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. I get to ride a horse, and I got to go, like, take a few lessons while I was there to get used to the horse. And it was actually a horse that I'd ridden before that I had recommended, and because he'd been used in shows before, I'd ridden him before. I knew he was, pretty sound, safe, like not crazy, spooky horse, where they had other horses that were available that would probably not have been a good idea. But this guy was a big thoroughbred Clydesdale mix. So he's massive, but very, nice temperament. So yes, I got to ride horses because I annoyed Jay Firestone so much with it that he finally just did it to shut me up.
During season 2, I guess, I'd had this thought that it would be cool to watch Trick in the bar by himself, do some sort of thing, as they call it in the acting world, a private moment. So, and then have Bo or Dyson walk in and see him doing some sort of crazy karate stuff or something. And so I told the writers, and I was trying to kind of tell everyone I possibly could, that when I was about 9 or 10 years old, we got a VCR in our a VCR plays VHS tapes. Some of you may remember. You put sandwiches in there when you were little. But I'd watched a Chuck Norris movie, and I'd slowed it down and taught myself how to use a quarterstaff to a certain degree. And my younger cousin and I used to go in the backyard, take all the broom handles off my mom's brooms. She'd be like, I'm trying to sweep. Where the hell is the... And he looks out the window, and they're... But so I'd kind of said, I really want to do something like that, in the bar by myself, tables and chairs are up in the back, and I'm just like, and they're like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And so then the stunt guys, Paul and Plato, I'd talked to them about it as well, and they're like, hey, that's not a bad idea. And they brought a guy in who worked with them regularly as a stunt guy, who was like the fastest hands I'd ever seen anyone do with a quarterstaff. It's just like it literally, he just did this, and it was like, and he gold medals in competitions and stuff like that. So I walk in and I'm like, here's my Chuck Norris moves, and I do my stuff, and he's like, hey, that's not bad, you're close. Just change your hands like this, change your hands like that, da 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 da. So they taught me a thing, and at the end of season 3, and I went away, and when I came back for season 4, they're like, okay, show me what you've been practicing. So I showed them what I've been practicing, and I kind of figured out another little maneuver where I could do it over my head and around without anybody telling me. I was quite proud of myself. And they're like, all right, that's great. It looks great. So we'll figure something out. And then it made its way into the end of season 4. It was funny, too, because the first one that I did, it was like, okay, you're fighting this guy, then you're fighting that guy, and then you're doing this, and then you're doing that. And that's the thing that I'd practiced. So I had really practiced for about a month and worked with stunt guys and everything else to do that in the flashback when Bo becomes Dyson and in that whole section. And then at the very end when we're fighting at the very end of season 4 and there's 150 people beating each other up. And they come walking up to me and they go, okay, here's your quarterstaff. Walk into there and just start fighting everybody. And I'm like, what? I had a month to practice before, and now you're that confident with, okay. So you run in and it's like, you start thwacking guys and they're like, yeah, hit me again. Because stunt guys are like that. And they're amazing. And I mean, we had 150 guys at that end of season 4 just beating the out of each other for for like 2 solid days, and just they were loving it. It was like, you know, and I walk in and I'm like,
He made those sounds while he was doing it too.
yeah, I do. Actually, they told me, the sound guy's like, could you stop doing the it's kind of taking away. It's like, sorry, I was practicing with bamboo at home, and so it made that.
My friend actually, I don't know if you've ever met my best friend, Byron.
I don't think I have, no.
He does a lot of action stuff, and he did Snakes on a Plane and a bunch of other movies, but I forget which. It wasn't Snakes on a Plane, or maybe it was. And he was he was holding a machine gun. He's like hanging out the side of the car door or the truck door, and you know, shooting the machine gun through after the first take. The director comes up to him. He's like, "Okay, that was great. Now, can you not go bang, 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 bang as you're doing it?" And he's like, "Oh," you know, because when you're rehearsing it with the fake gun, you'll be like,
Yeah.
"Bang, bang," you know, and do
Here's
that
here's
stuff.
when I'm actually shooting it, so
Yeah, it's like
you
this
guys
direction
know
over
to go.
here. And you just like go through the numbers on it. But he forgot to not do that during the take.
that part, yeah.
That actually, I did that with Mark Valley on Human Target. They had us on a motorcycle, you know, cabled in and everything. We had to. It was like this awesome sort of jump, like over a wall, but they had the motorcycle on like a zip line. This show had a lot of money to blow, and
Safety first, people. Safety first.
Safety first. And they had us harnessed in. I mean, it was like a whole deal because, you know, big safety thing. And the first take, you know, they're like, all right, so it's gonna pick up some speed, and then it'll slow down towards the end of the thing, and then we'll bring you back down. And you know, you guys are being chased. And we're like, okay. They take us up there the first time. They yell action. The thing starts going, and they bring us back down. The director's like, okay. You guys have huge smiles on your faces while you're doing this. You're being chased by bad guys. You're escaping like the Russian embassy.
Yeah.
It's very serious. So we're like, right. But it felt like we were at Disneyland or something. We're like, whee! It was really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was one of the more exciting moments.
When I shot Tin Man, we were on a rope bridge, me and this other actor, and we had to run. The camera was strapped to a tree, and we had to run along the rope bridge up to the tree. Because they're doing like
cameraman was safe enough to
yeah,
be
exactly.
there.
They're all down there going, "No, that's great. It's great. You look great, Rick. You're looking great, great." And you're like, "I'm gonna die. I'm 20 feet in the air. The guy running behind me is about 20, 30 pounds heavier than I am. So every time he steps down on the bridge, I go up. And it's like, you guys don't get physics, do you? Jeez Louise. So I'm like running along on the, you know, it's like if you imagine a wave sign, he's on the lower part running along, and I'm running along the top part of the wave. And they're like, you know, the first AD, we finished a take, and the first AD goes, "Nice tear on your face, Rick." And I'm like, yeah, not too hard to act that. There's like a pillow 20 feet down there going, yeah, if I fall off, I have to hit that pillow, right? It's like, yeah, please don't kill me. I'm in Vancouver, in the forest. But yeah. Anybody else? Question?
What are some of your favorite moments on set and stories behind the scenes?
Well, telling Bo, the grandfather scene was a lot of fun. There's a lot of, all the kind of like heavy emotional things that we got to do were a lot of fun to kind of like really delve down, especially because it's such a counterpoint to doing the, well, this Faye is blah, 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 blah. My head explodes at the end of the scene. There's like, okay, great, let's do it again now in close-up. And you're like, right. Okay, what did I say? But yeah, so like those kind of slower moments and the emotional things. One of my fave episodes too was with Ksenia, when the bird lady that I couldn't see but she could see because humans could only see them. That was a lot of kind of sticky comedy in a way. They made it look great too, the way she appeared and disappeared, and like I'm like going, you were just talking to somebody. She was supposed to be right there. That was a lot of fun because I got to use my, you know, that kind of timing chops, and then the emotional stuff is always, because you feel so good afterward. You're exhausted and you're like, yeah, you know, felt something from here, which is always
I'm
nice.
an actor.
I've acted today. I didn't just move a book. Yeah, so those kinds of things. But they've all kind of blended into like one just lovely, long chunk of my life that was so much fun to do. It was always a great, like, I mean, even like the scenes where we did it around the bar, the first scene with Chris in my lair when we have the scotch together and like, you know, have that war talk kind of thing, and like all of those, each of those scenes all have like really special moments. And our scene together that we had finally, was it this
Like
season or season 4?
I think, yeah.
Season 4, when she comes into the lair and she's like, and I'm like, hey, I'm tempted, but hey, you're evil. It was a lot of fun to play as well. Like, I mean, you know, every scene, because the chemistry was so great between our cast members that whatever we got to do together was a lot of fun.
Now, I don't know if I had heard you right or not. Were you talking behind the scenes or the actual scenes? Both. Okay. Because I was like, no, I'm not sure if that was the. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
I
He
wasn't
said both.
sure.
He said both.
Both. Okay.
And I can't think of
yeah.
any behind the scene ones. I mean,
Well, I mean, I know of stuff that happened while I was gone that, you know, like Rachel and Chris pulling pranks on each other and stuff, like the chili flakes.
Yeah, the chili flakes, and that was
They
her and
rimmed,
Paul and stuff.
like Paul rimmed Rachel's water bottle with like the hottest chili stuff that you can get. Like somebody brought it
A little
back.
bit of cayenne pepper.
Because Paul's obsessed. I mean, he's a really good cook, and he's obsessed with like really hot chili
Spicy
sauces,
things,
spicy
yeah.
things. So he put it all along her water bottle, and she went to take like a sip of her water and almost lost her mind.
Yeah, you hear these screams from outside. You're like,
so
what
then,
was
but
that?
she then went and like put it on his like Diet Coke or something, like all over his stuff. So then when he went to take a sip, I mean, it was just like this war that started to happen.
Yeah.
Then they would sneak into her trailer and put it on like another water bottle, like so she'd grab that one and be like, no, just as things were starting to die down.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd been there for that. I was not. I've heard it. I've heard the story at panels many times when they've told it. So I feel like
Pranked each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, no, see, I didn't, again, like, I had all these books to move. I had all this stuff and all this information to impart. So I was kind of too busy with that to kind of go, I'm going to put cayenne pepper in somebody's water, because I don't want them to take a page out of my book or, you know, remove a prop or something on me or anything like that. So,
I threatened to light Rachel's trailer on fire when she was on set. I was sending her photos of me with a lighter outside her door, and then she would send me like a picture of like a toilet. She's like, I'm gonna flush you down the toilet.
That's where you're going, lady.
Yeah, and we'd do things like that. Let's see, who are you? Sure, yes.
What is your favorite mythological creature? Or legend? Because it is legend-based. Do you have like a favorite, legend or?
There were so many of them. The one that always kind of made me laugh was the character that was in the morgue that would like reanimate the dead people, and so he'd like slip into the character, and then it'd be like this, hey, how's it going? He's like, what the? I always thought that was kind of funny. There's like the odd Faye was like that you'd come across that they'd say, what was the one that I can't remember what it was called, but like they would, their Fayness kind of devoured themselves. It was like this, and it was just kind of a terrible. It's like, what a horrible plight to have. It's like, I can't remember, like the butcher guy who eats his own hand.
Yeah.
Those kinds of Fae where it's just like, what? Why do you're a parasite on your own self? It's like, how did your race survive? Like, how did you keep going? You're eating yourself.
I don't know if we ever had one on the show. I don't think we did, but a unicorn. For obvious reasons.
We actually had.
They're awesome. I even have a unicorn mother at the house.
You do?
Yes, it actually, a good friend of mine for my birthday got me a thank you. It's a unicorn on
Well,
Oh, that's cool.
a tooth fairy came to visit me yesterday and had a unicorn under his tutu. And I think I posted a photo of it on
Yes,
Twitter.
exactly how you're imagining it.
Exactly, yeah. I got to touch his unicorn. It was great.
The closest we got on the show with a unicorn, actually, was when Kenzie ate the foot soup and got really sick. And I had to make tea from an abath horn. Now, an abath is the female's, the unicorn's partner. Because unicorns are actually male. And only one exists at any one time. That's why they're so magical. But, yeah, well, there's more than one, you know, because there's only one guy, so there's like a couple of abath or whatever they're called. And they kind of have like regular looking horns, and they have two. But the props mistress had put ginger on the end of this horn that I grate into the tea so that Ksenia could drink ginger tea. And but that was, you know, I was like, what the heck's in a bath? And so I'm looking it up on, you know, on Google, and it's like, oh, okay. So there's unicorns are male, and there's only one ever at one time, and the abath is the female that he mates with to make the next unicorn, which I guess he dies before that one is born, I suppose. I'm not sure how the magic works, but...
Baby unicorns.
What's that? No, not quite like Bambi. Unless Bambi's mom was in a bath, in which case, then, yes, just like that. You had a question behind, yeah.
Taking away your own characters, just looking at the show from a viewer's perspective, who do you appreciate like as characters? Who do you see that you are a fan of?
I would have to, for me, I would say Kenzie, just because I love her. Like, she has so much, she does such an amazing job as Kenzie, but
Yep.
She's just so much fun. She gets a lot of fun lines and great stuff to do, and she, you know, they really, like, the scope of her character kind of ran the gamut of everything. I mean, she got to do a lot. It was one of those really great roles, and she did it so well. So that was always fun for me to watch, and also Vex, because he's just crazy.
Yeah, I would agree with you with Kenzie for sure, and also because like she's the human, right? So you identify with that as the humans watching. You kind of connect to her story, but like the con part of it, and like the master of disguise, and Ksenia does such a great job with it. She's always a pleasure to watch. She was a real pleasure to work with as well. In the back.
I haven't seen the finale yet, so...
Nobody has.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is Trick gonna open a bar in Portland, Oregon?
Is what?
Is Trick gonna open a bar in Portland, Oregon? I'm talking Graham.
Oh, I don't know, but there is a bar that looks exactly like Trick's bar in Hamilton, Ontario, which could be very similar to Portland, Oregon. I don't know. But
no, Portland is nothing like Hamilton.
Okay.
They intersect on so many monsters a lot.
Right.
So I thought, yeah, since you're not working,
Hey, man, tell the writers. Get the Grimm writers to watch the show and write Trick into it. I'm there.
You should just open a bar in Portland, Oregon, and have it like
called the Dow, and have to be sued by Jay.
Yeah.
Hey,
no, you just
the producers come down. No.
You spell it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
No, the trademark you can't, or not. It's you can't. You can have the same name. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things you'd have to change about the likeness of it, right? Is that?
I just call it Trick's Bar,
Trick's Bar.
where everybody knows your name. Literally, because it's written down in my ledger. You were here in 1875. It says here, enjoy sucking the souls out of. Yeah, I guess we got time for like one more question, and then we're gonna call it. It said 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes.
I got a 5-minute wave.
Who gave you a 5-minute wave? I didn't give a 5-minute wave.
You got to look around. You see them back there going like this. Over here.
I wanted to know, well, since the show has
kept all kinds of shit.
Yeah, no, I've got a fair amount of stuff too, actually.
I should have actually kept more of it, but
I kept too many pairs of my pants because trick.
Well, yours
I
was
was
all custom made. Which
Well,
is
yeah,
amazing.
well, it was, except that also I thinned out kind of in the last couple of seasons, so my first season pants don't fit me anymore. But I took them all, and so I have all of these pairs of pants that are sitting in a suitcase, waiting for me to, you know, eat, I guess. But I also the lamps in the in the bar that were on the bar behind me. They're little sensor lamps, and for 4 years, I thought they were actually stained glass lamps because they look like stained glass. And I was like, hey, can I get one of those? And they're like, yeah, take them both. We don't need them anymore. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. And it's like, tick, tick, oh crap, it's plastic. It even fooled me, and I was right there. But they're really cool. And I also have a picture. There was a picture in season 3 that was in the room that Hale had as his ash layer that was in the back of the bar. And it's this poster of this woman kind of sitting in a moonlighty kind of thing with just a little scarfie around her waist. And it says, with all my love, Delilah. And so I got that as well. So that sits near my bedroom, in my bed. No, the books and the ledgers were like really heavy and big, and I think the props people wanted those. Because like my actual big book of Faye was originally a furniture book. So as the show progressed, there was less and less furniture and more Faye handmade art. But every once in a while in a scene, I'd be like, yes, well that Faye is a reclining chair. Whoops. So I had to kind of go back, and it's like, okay, don't turn to that page, Rick, because yeah, that's an Grecian vase that you put your plants in when you have a nice foyer. Yes, exactly. But with lacking a bit of too much Faye. Anyway, I guess
Was there one more
we have
question?
one more
I think,
question.
over here?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I was curious, I think it was, I don't know if it was season 2 or 3, but when Bex was controlling the Morgan and you were dancing, was that your own moves, or?
I feel like this is a dangerous question to answer. Maybe.
No. Yeah.
No. Actually, John Fawcett, who created Orphan Black, directed that episode, and I remember having a conversation with him, like, I think it was before Christmas, because we shot it right after Christmas, and I got the script, and I'm like, okay, so what exactly dancing? It says dancing, and then it says like Elaine-style dancing from like Elaine from Seinfeld. I'm like, okay, so goofy, crazy dancing. Like, I'm like, but we should figure out or have a choreographer like come and so we can sit down and actually work out the moves so it's specific, because you also have to, on every take, recreate exactly what you did for each angle and for whatever. So
yeah,
we did actually do some rehearsals, but we worked together, and then they like sent me home with the music that they were going to use. And
you did a great job with that, by the way.
no, thank you. It was fun. It was like one of the more fun episodes to shoot.
Yeah,
It was
no, absolutely.
very tiring, but
Yeah, it's
thank you.
it's hard to dance out of rhythm. Like, it's hard to sing on purpose off key, you know? Like, it's...
For some.
Yeah, no, but to be good, like, for it to work, and you have to do it consistently over and over
I
again.
can teach you.
Okay, great, great. Awesome. I look forward to Emmanuelle's bad dancing, singing classes.
That's right. I have a karaoke
How to do it
machine.
terribly.
I do. I love karaoke. No one else likes the karaoke with me, but like.
But you get down, baby.
That's right.
You get down, sister. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone,
Yeah,
for
thank you
coming
so
by.
much. That's definitely for coming out at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, great. So you're,
Since 6
you're
o'clock,
good
just
to go.
pining away for the Lost Girl panel at 11.
Yeah.
Just waiting. Well, come see us. Come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi at our booth down there, and thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.